programme. We're now joined by Eric Wahberg, who's a political analyst, and he's located in Toronto, Canada. Thank you very much, Eric, for joining us. I also want to get your immediate reaction when you saw the news this morning. Fears of possible escalation in the region. We've seen lots of international reactions now. We've seen the UN condemning the strikes and warning against escalation in this conflict. What are your thoughts on America's actions within the last 24 hours?
I couldn't disagree more with both of your speakers, Trump and the Honorable Ambassador. This attack was totally unprovoked. It's totally illegal. It violates the Non-Proliferation Treaty, the UN Charter, the American Constitution. It's evil. And this idea that it's to protect Israel. Israel wants to destroy Iran because Iran is the only Muslim power that is standing up to it, and it's the spearhead of the Palestinian liberation movement. And that's what the whole world is rooting for now, is for the liberation of Palestine and the end of Israel's terror. The worst terrorist in the world is number one, Israel, and number two, America. So this idea that Iran is a terrorist, that's also a complete nonsense. So what we're listening to is a complete inversion of actual fact and actual good behavior in the world. We're seeing the worst at the top, and we're seeing the people standing for freedom and justice being obliterated, as Trump so articulately said that he was obliterating. He loves to use big words to match his small mind. So this is a terrible day. It's a day of infamy, very much like FDR's announcement on the day that Pearl Harbor was attacked by the fascists of that day, which were the Japanese. Now our fascists are in the White House and in Tel Aviv. So I have nothing positive to say about this at all. All I can do is hope that Iran destroys more and more of Israel's military sites. It's already destroyed the port of Haifa. It's a real victory for justice in the world when Israel is obliterated.
Okay, Eric, we have some breaking news coming in now. Please stay with us. We have an Iranian lawmaker has said that damage to the Fordow nuclear facility from recent strikes was mostly on the ground and can be restored. According to Iranian media, the lawmaker said that the site has not suffered serious damage. And we have some more news as well coming from the region. The Iran-backed Houthi rebels have announced that all American commercial ships and warships are now considered legitimate targets. The escalatory statement comes amid heightened regional tensions following US strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Eric, I want to come back to you now. The regional tensions are already escalating following this strike by the United States. Donald Trump has called for peace. However, that does not seem to be the case in what's happening. Can we start with the regional problems that are going to escalate in regards to these direct strikes, and then we'll move on to the possible outcomes that can happen internationally? What are your thoughts on now Iran's proxy groups rising, now calling for violence and condemning America? We've also had a statement from Hamas, who have blamed and condemned blatant aggression of the US strikes on Iranian bases. What are your thoughts, Eric?
This Hamas is every day it's killing the real terrorists, the IDF, that are just going around shooting innocent mothers and children, lining up for their rations, the starving masses. But the Hamas is still active, even though all of its leaders were assassinated by the terrorist Israel. more and more people join Hamas because they are fighting for their own liberation. And it's really exciting to see every day IDF soldiers are being killed, even though there is no food going in, there are no weapons going in. What Hamas does is they find the unexploded bombs that Israel drops, huge numbers of bombs. Apparently, they ran out of detonators, so they use defective detonators. So many of the bombs, 20% of the bombs, don't actually explode. So Hamas uses them, it recycles them, and it kills IDF soldiers. And as you said, also the Houthi, the Ansarallah, they are blockading the ports in the Red Sea. Now Iran has destroyed the port of Haifa and several other ports, and all the airports are closed as far as I know. So Israel's more concerned about Israelis trying to flee. Israelis are leaving like rats, leave the sinking ship. So the doors of escape are closed there. So that's a very good. And what you also said about the ineffectual bombing of the U.S., that would be the best outcome of all, because I doubt that Trump has enough. He's too much of a coward to attack again. I think he will probably bluster a bit, and maybe he will finally actually negotiate. Maybe he will make an agreement. That would be the best outcome.
Eric,
I mean, I don't like all the killing, and it would be better if there were genuine negotiations that could be trusted, not Trump's kind of negotiations where he pretends to negotiate and meanwhile shafts his opponent in the same time.
Eric, you want Iran to take military action against America. Donald Trump has called for diplomacy in this. He has called for a time for peace after this. He wanted Iran to lose their nuclear capabilities. That seems to be what he has successfully done, if his statements are correct.
Well, you just said that you just denied that. You just said that the damage done to the main nuclear site was minimal, which is actually a good thing, because the real worry is that you hit those nuclear sites with big bombs, and then you're going to create a nuclear explosion, and all that fallout will go. Trump doesn't seem to care about the environment. He's willing to do that. So I hope that your news commentary was correct, that in fact Iran will just continue with its nuclear program. But as you say, negotiations. I agree with it. If you can trust Trump, but who can trust Trump? He 1 minute he says one thing, and the next minute he turns around and says the opposite. So I don't know. I can't see that there's going to be genuine negotiations, but maybe let's call for negotiations always.
Yes, and obviously there's key lawmakers already questioning the president's authority. How do you think domestically in the United States that this is going to turn out? We had staunch Republican hawks calling for this action, and we saw the New Wave MAGA movement calling, saying the United States should not get involved. The United States now says it will launch further strikes on Iranian soil if it has a response. How do you see this going?
Well, I think that if the Iranian reaction was, if the Iranian reports that the damage was minimal, then I don't think Iran would attack American forces. I think it really does want to de-escalate. But and I'm not quite sure how this will play out in the United States, because the the Democrats are in complete disarray, and as you say, there are these hawks that are just asking for more and more, and they would be happy with World War III. Now there are sensible Republicans, MAGA. I forget her name, but she's a very outspoken supporter of Trump. I can't remember, but she and quite a few sensible Gates. I think is it Michael Gates? he has also spoken out against this.
Matt
So I
Gaetz.
think that perhaps there will be some reaction. I hope that there will be a blowback against Trump in the US, which would prevent him from continuing to attack. I mean, this is the real worry, is that he could just keep escalating, and because he's a dictator. He's doing all of this out of the White House. Everything he's doing is illegal, and he's getting away with it because everyone is afraid of him. So he's the tyrant in the world now, and I don't know if enough Republicans can mobilize to protest, but because also his big budget, his beautiful budget, as he called it, which was just a giveaway, a tax giveaway to the rich, that probably is not going to go through. So his domestic policies are collapsing, the tariffs, all of that is a complete disaster. So we'll have to see what happens.
Eric Wahberg, thank you very much for joining us on the program. If you've just joined us, viewers, we are covering the US has bombed 4